because not Mildred called Tiff an unemployed broke bitch. Well, she didn't use those words, but she damn near might as well said that. And Tiff was like, bitch, I left you, not the other way around. Hey guys, Nate, welcome back to my little corner of YouTube. This video will contain spoilers for every episode of the Ultimatum Queer Love Season 1, which includes the final decisions and the reunion. So if you haven't watched all of that and you don't want spoilers, save this video and come back after you do. This season was about lesbian couples, so if you don't like it, don't watch it. Now that we got that out of the way, let's get into it. Okay, so at the time of this recording, I have not watched the reunion yet. I'm all about authenticity on my channel, and I want to make sure that I am only talking about the choices they made, not about who stayed together or what happened after any of that. So to avoid overlapping into any of it, I just haven't watched it yet. I am gonna watch it after I record this. Also, y'all, I have a new setup. I'm rearranging my living room right now, so excuse the clutter while I get that figured out. I do want to quickly say thank you all for all of your comments. I promise that I'm gonna respond to every single one. It just takes me some time because for some reason my boss still wants me to do my 9 to 5. I don't know what's up with that. That's sarcasm. I just want you to know that I do see you and I appreciate you. Okay, Yoly and Mal. So last week I gave predictions on how I thought everything would play out for all the couples. We all knew that Mal was going to choose Yoly because they teased the proposal in the preview of the last episode. But I predicted that Yoly was going to leave alone. Yoly did not leave alone. Mal proposed, Yoly said yes. I absolutely hate that she said yes because I don't think she meant it. When they were doing the voiceovers in the beginning, you know, driving in the car and all of that stuff, Yoly was saying, I'm still unsure. Right up until that point, unless they recorded that before, I don't know. She was saying she was still unsure. So to me, babe, that's a no. And Mal continues to be this amazing person and say, I know where you are. I know you're in love with two people. I'm still willing to put in the work. Mal is literally a saint, and in that moment, Yoly did not deserve that. And Yoly deserved it even less as the episode continued. Vanessa and Xander. I predicted that Vanessa would choose Xander, but for selfish reasons. And I predicted that Xander would choose Yoly. I was completely right about this, in my opinion. When Vanessa was giving her little speech in the car, she was saying, for the past 30 years of my life, all her life, I was unsure about if I wanted marriage and all this stuff. But when I saw Xander connecting with somebody else, it made me flip a switch. Yeah, we know that's the problem. It doesn't feel genuine. It feels like she's only doing it because she doesn't want Xander to be with anyone else. I do wonder if the crew, production, knows ahead of time what people are going to say. If anybody has insight on that, please let me know. I'm just curious if they know ahead of time who's going to say what, so they know who to tell to speak first. I am so proud of Xander for doing what we all knew needed to be done. Now, what I do wish would have happened is that Vanessa didn't flip it on Xander and be like, you've been giving me breadcrumbs and I know I deserve more than breadcrumbs. When in reality, Vanessa was the one giving breadcrumbs, and that's why they ended up on the ultimatum to begin with. And saying things like, I never thought you wouldn't choose me. I don't understand why you're not willing to grow with me. For me, it goes back to Vanessa being overly confident. And there's nothing wrong with confident people. It's about the fact that Vanessa was past confident. She was almost cocky. Cocky and confident to the point that she was unwilling to compromise. And in the end, that was the downfall of her relationship. So yeah, as far as I see it, my predictions on Vanessa choosing Xander out of being selfish, that was correct, and we all know that Xander chose Yoly. Xander and Yoly. Can I just say it broke my little heart to see Xander get her heart broken twice. Once from breaking up with Vanessa, a second time from having to deal with the fact that Yoly chose Mal. When Xander was pouring her heart out to Yoly, Yoly really pissed me off. I'm sorry, she pissed me off because she was like, I want this. And still, in that moment, caressing Xander's hand, hugging on Xander in these really intimate hugs, saying I want this, knowing that she had already accepted a ring from Mal. What are you doing, Yoly? What, girl, I can't wait to watch this reunion because I hope somebody lets her ass have it after having watched all this. Xander started talking about how their friends and family were gonna meet, and it just sucked to watch. It just sucked. It sucked to watch someone pour their heart out, knowing that this other person in that moment was still leading them on while being engaged to a whole ass another person, who they also don't deserve, by the way. The entire time I was watching this Yoly Xander interaction, I'm just like, Yoly, stand up.
Y'all be weak in the knees. Stand up. Stand up.
What the hell was she thinking? So Sam and Aussie, I didn't have a solid prediction for these two, but I felt like they both should have left alone. We do know that they ended up getting engaged though. During her interview before they met up, Sam was saying, I don't want to be tied down by someone else's stuckness. And in the end, I think that's what ended up happening, just not in the way she thought. She thought she would be getting stuck in the sense that Aussie didn't want to get married and that was keeping her stuck. But I think she's about to get stuck in this marriage. They showed Aussie with the ring in the car, so we already knew Aussie was going to propose. What they didn't show was that damn penguin rock. I'm gonna be real. I thought the penguin story was cute. I didn't know penguins did that. I learned something new. Thank you, Aussie. Now, Sam didn't look too happy about the rock when she thought that's all she was getting. But of course, we know Aussie had the ring. Her face was like, I know you fucking lying. Like this. She was holding the rock like, okay. Like, I think she might have flipped it a few times, or maybe that was just in my head. I know my feelings don't matter on this. I am just a girl on YouTube giving commentary on this relationship that I don't know much about. I feel like this was such a big mistake. I don't feel good about this situation the most because, as I mentioned in my previous video, I think Aussie has so much healing to do. And yes, sure, you can absolutely do that healing being in a relationship, but is Aussie going to be willing to do it while in a relationship? I don't know. Aussie hasn't been willing to do it thus far. And now that Aussie already has a yes from Sam, it to me feels less likely. They're already content and comfortable in this relationship. Sam is playing the caregiver role for Aussie. And that's not fair because Sam didn't sign up for that. No one deserves to be a caregiver for the rest of their life simply because their partner refuses to do the healing work that they so desperately need to do. I don't know. Like I said, I haven't watched the reunion yet, so I don't know if they are still together. But those are just my initial thoughts on the situation. Mildred and Tiff. My predictions for this couple was that Mildred would choose Tiff and Tiff would choose Tiff. So Tiff would leave alone. We know that they ended up getting engaged. Quick pause. We have had a lot of conversations about pronouns during this season for obvious reasons. And we know that Tiff prefers to be referred to with non-binary pronouns. I just want y'all to know that Mildred referred to Tiff as she. And I even have a timestamp for y'all. Episode 9 with 54 minutes and 50 seconds left. Mildred said, if she doesn't propose, I'm ready to walk away.
And I'm just hoping for the best. But if she doesn't propose, I'm ready to walk away.
Do what you want with that information, but Mildred referred to Tiff as she. Moving on. Tiff said the decision was in their gut and their heart, which really surprised me when I found out that the decision was to get engaged because I didn't see that feeling being in Tiff's heart. This relationship was so tumultuous that I just couldn't see it being such a sure thing on Tiff's end. But hey, if they like it, I love it. I do also think that this was a bad move, obviously, because they break up more than the damn weather changes. But we'll see what happens. And then was this strange to anybody else? In that final interview on the beach, when they were just talking to the producers after the engagement, Tiff said to Mildred, you got what you wanted. I don't know. That just, maybe that's just their banter, but that's such a weird thing to say after an engagement, right? Like, you got what you wanted, not like, I'm excited, babe, to start this new journey. Just, you got what you wanted. It just felt like such a strange thing to say and to hear in that moment. Lexi and Rae. So I predicted that they both would choose themselves and leave single, but they got engaged. Now Netflix must have ran out of memory on their cards, or the camera broke or something, because they didn't even give us any build up to this situation. They were just like, here are these two, they're engaged. Now I did think it was cute that they both got rings. Of course we know that that's probably because Lexi's fine ass daddy is a jeweler. So yeah, I thought that was cute. If they are still together, I hope that Lexi was able to get over Vanessa and doesn't bring up Vanessa in every argument they have or every good moment they have, whatever, because I can see that being the case. And that is a wrap on the Ultimatum choices. I am on my way literally 2 seconds after this to go watch the reunion. It's reunion time. I got on my reunion dress because I'm not going to miss an opportunity to dress up. And let's get into it. Okay, so I'm not going to lie. When it first started and I saw how everybody was sitting, I was like, is nobody together? Like, I don't see anybody sitting next to each other. And then they said that they did that because they put the people who gave the ultimatum and the people who received the ultimatum on different sides. Okay, I see what y'all did there. So Lexi and Rae, they are still together. I gotta say, I'm not mad at this. They both said that they're happy. They both look really happy. So I can't possibly be mad at it. Now, bringing up Fingergate and calling it Fingergate was out of control. They didn't need to do that. They could have left that on the tapes that we all saw and let it go. But they brought it up. So, hey, I do like that Lexi admitted that she kind of took that situation a little bit too far, you know, being like there was penetration. Y'all know what happened. Y'all go watch it back. Y'all saw exactly what happened. I love that she admitted that she may have taken that too far and was really vulgar in her description of things. So, shout out to her for that. And I hope they go far. I like them together. Vanessa and Xander. Ooh, I was a little shocked to find out that they're not even talking, like, at all, haven't spoken to each other. Vanessa was really emotional while talking about the situation and, you know, the aftermath when they didn't get engaged. And you know what? I believe Vanessa. I don't think somebody would get on stage and fake all of that. It seemed genuine to me. Xander was also visibly upset. I think this is a classic example of what we discussed way back at the first video of this season, that love is not enough. These are two people who, to me, really still do, at the time of that reunion recording, love each other. But through this experiment, through the ultimatum, they realized that that simply isn't enough to hold them together. They have so many problems that it's just not gonna work. They are better off not together. And I think they both recognize that that hurts, but they recognize that it's the right thing to do. If I'm being completely honest, I think this couple is probably the couple that learned the most from this experience. They didn't get fake engaged at the end, being like, we'll work through it, or anything like that, knowing that they wouldn't. They actually said, yeah, this is not going to work for us. So to me, they probably ended up learning the most, because they came out of the experiment knowing that things weren't good, and then going with that feeling versus trying to say, well, we'll just stick it out after the show. Mal and Yoly. Whew. So Mal said they were happily split, and I was like, okay, sounds amicable, everything's chill. And then Mal let her ass have it. Now, Yoly said they lasted about 2 weeks after filming stopped, and then they were already broken up. I did mention that Mal said on Instagram that there was a lot of stuff that she found out while watching the show that she didn't know about. And she made sure to reiterate that fact at the reunion, telling Yoly that she has a history of lying and that her track record isn't good. And then she brought up that mixer, that infamous mixer where she was caressing Xander's hand. We all saw what happened. Hearing Mal say that Yoly made a fool of her on national TV and that she was playing in her face, honestly, it hurt me to hear Mal say that, because it was all true. And Mal is so mature, so patient, so caring and giving, that it just doesn't make sense to me that somebody would treat her that way. And it just hurts to hear that she was hurt by that, and that she didn't find that out until watching the show. But hearing Mal say, you did nothing but show everybody how amazing I am, how amazing a partner I am, how amazing of a mother I would be, that was chef's kiss. You tell her ass, Mal. I also didn't like Yoly's comment about her being like an ad or like a poster child for polyamory, because she's not. She's a terrible poster child if she thinks that she is. She doesn't know how to communicate, and she lies too much to be a poster child for polyamory. She even got caught in a lie on that very stage, saying that she never said she was gonna go to Hawaii with Xander, and then Xander was like, yeah, you did say that. Remember when you had said that? And she was like, oh, okay, yeah, I see. It's the same thing she did when she was at the mixer, and she was like, I didn't think that happened. And she was like, okay, yeah, I see that happened. Girl, her remedy for getting caught in a lie is being like, oh yeah, okay, I get what you're saying. She says things in a nice way, but what she's doing is not nice. And of course, Mal did not know about that Hawaii situation. I gotta say, I'm happy that these two split. It was just not meant to be. Mildred and Tiff. Are we surprised? Are any of us really surprised? We all knew this was a toxic relationship from Jump Street. So the fact that Tiff ended up calling the cops on Mildred for assaulting her, I think she said she threw a pet gate at her, doesn't surprise me at all. I'm ecstatic to see that these two are not together anymore. It was never gonna work. It was too toxic, too unhealthy. Because not Mildred called Tiff an unemployed broke bitch. Well, she didn't use those words, but she damn near might as well said that. And Tiff was like, bitch, I left you, not the other way around. By the time we got to the sex board games, I was like, okay, let's run it. Let's do a wraparound, because we've gone too far. Now, asking Mildred to split the rent or the bills 3 different ways because she has a son is crazy. I hope that's not true. So I don't know why Yoly felt the need to put in her 2 cents on that. I realized that I'm putting in my 2 or 3 cents, but in that moment, Yoly should have just zipped her lips, because she just needed to let them work that out. It wasn't for her to say anything. But she was like, well, how did it come up then? Girl, were you there? Then again, Tiff calling Mildred a trash mom was also uncalled for, and I hope that that isn't true. As I said, Mildred has a special needs son, and that is not easy. Raising children to begin with is very difficult, and I know I don't have any kids, so I'm not even speaking from full experience, but I do have experience with special needs children. It's not easy, it's hard, and calling someone a trash mom when on top of being a single mother, they are also trying to take care of a special needs child is a low blow. So I really hope Tiff didn't say that. Mildred actually said that Tiff isn't allowed in her life anymore, and look, we may never know what actually happened there. We probably won't ever get the full story on what happened there, whether or not Mildred is gaslighting Tiff or what the case may be. I do love that Sam ran after Tiff after everything was said and done. To me, that shows that they did have a bond during the show, even though it started off a little rocky with the dog situation. It shows that they did have a connection, the fact that Sam ran after Tiff. Sam and Aussie. I can't say I'm happy to see these two together. Mostly because I don't see progress in this relationship. Whether that progress be that we broke up or that we've moved forward, I can see that in every one of these other relationships except for Sam and Aussie. And I say that because Aussie's family still doesn't know that Aussie is queer, and of course doesn't know that Aussie is engaged to a woman. It's been a year, right? At the time of this reunion taping, it's now been a full year for them. Is Aussie ever gonna tell their family? Or is Sam gonna have to live in the shadows forever? To me, no progress has been made in that relationship. And this excuse that like, oh, my parents just want to, it's like, get over it. You're 42, probably 43 at this point. It's time to tell your parents that you're gay and they either accept it or they don't, but you just can't live life like this. I don't know, I just hate that so much for Sam. Sam deserves to be acknowledged, recognized, and fully accepted. And if Aussie cannot provide that for Sam, then Aussie needs to let Sam go. And that is a wrap on the Ultimatum Queer Love Season 1. Y'all, I can't believe we are finally here. It's been a roller coaster, okay? But it has also been amazing to discuss all of these episodes with you all. As usual, please drop any thoughts you have in the comment section to continue the conversation. I cannot wait to discuss with y'all. You can continue to find me here on my channel doing more commentary on other TV shows, sometimes reality, sometimes not. Sometimes talking about my hair, sometimes talking about my rabbits, sometimes talking about life in general. I hope that I continue to see you around. And thank you so much for hanging out with me consistently over these past 3 or 4 weeks. That's it, y'all. And if you haven't already, subscribe.
If I'm on your mind, just say that. Brand new Benz, brand new Maybach. Got brand new friends for way back. If you my sign, can't change that.